From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on your MTN statewide news. I'm Andrea Lutz. This afternoon, mourners are laying flowers outside Windsor Castle in honor of the life of Prince Philip, who died just 2 months before his 100th birthday. He passed away peacefully this morning at Windsor Castle. Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth, was the longest-serving royal consort in British history by more than a decade. He assumed the role in 1952 when the Queen ascended to the throne after the death of King George. The announcement of his death was placed outside Buckingham Palace just this morning. In Texas, a gunman opened fire on a cabinet manufacturing company, killing one person and injuring several others. Police tracked down 27-year-old Larry Ballin after an extensive search. It's the fourth mass shooting in the United States in just 3 weeks. This is President Biden detailing a group of executive actions on gun control. The president says there's no effort to infringe on the Second Amendment. Instead, he wants to restrict ghost guns, publish red flag laws, and direct the DOJ to issue a report on firearms trafficking. The president also says he'll make it a priority to remove liability protections from gun manufacturers. Montana U.S. Senator Steve Daines says he opposes Biden's infrastructure plan, saying it spends too much money on electric vehicles rather than building roads and bridges. Biden's plan has $220 billion to encourage electric cars and manufacturing, $500 billion for highways, bridges, water systems, and the expansion of high-speed internet. Daines says he won't be supporting tax increases on wealthy individuals to help pay for this plan. A key witness at Derek Chauvin's murder trial says what was done to George Floyd would have killed a healthy person. The pulmonology expert compared Floyd's struggle to having a lung removed. He says he died from a low level of oxygen. Now turning to a fire burning in western Montana, it is now 80% contained, and fire crews say that recent snow and cooler temperatures help control the Sinkhole fire. The fire didn't actually grow, but it remains at about 100 acres. There are no evacuations or structures threatened. The Sinkhole fire is burning 5 miles west of Dixon and was sparked by a railroad fire work that was on there, or work crews doing work in the area. Firefighters say they'll remain on scene throughout the day. Ski areas like Red Lodge Mountain are wrapping up their seasons all across Montana. And we're taking a look back. COVID did impact some of the capacity limits, but it didn't stop people from enjoying some of those fresh turns just this week. As always, the most unpredictable variable of ski season is the snowfall. Officials say luckily, Red Lodge is notorious for having those large accumulations of snow in the spring. Their last weekend is going to be this weekend over there. All right, we are checking in on the weather, and a lot of those ski mountains, they're dwindling down for the season.
Yep, so they are wrapping things up. By the way, Red Lodge, I believe, got 3 inches of snow yesterday, so not completely done yet.
Yeah.
But as for the season, it looks like we'll be wrapping up this weekend. Happy Friday, everybody, in TGIF as we take a look at temperatures around the state right now, mainly in the 40s, down in northern Wyoming as well. We're still seeing a little bit of snow in the northeastern portions of the Bighorns, but a lot of us seeing glorious sunshine today as we dry up from the rain and snow yesterday. Now we have another system that's approaching the area. We're getting some prefrontal wind right now, anywhere from Cut Bank down to Livingston, where we're seeing gusts 20, 30, 40 miles an hour, and up in the northeast corner of the state as well. Those winds will linger this weekend as that system passes through. What does that mean in terms of our temperatures, and will we see more rain and snow? I'll let you know with the main forecast straight ahead. Andrew.
All right, Miller, thank you. A major hurdle is crossed for Butte's goal of getting a tram built to the Lady of the Rockies statue. The Federal Highway Administration approved the air right-of-way for the construction of the tram to cross over Interstate 15. So the tram would take passengers from Butte up to the statue located above town on the East Ridge. The tram project needed approval before it could even move forward. Lawmakers in Helena are tackling the state budget, trying to figure out how to combine federal relief money into the state. House Bill 2 is the centerpiece of the session, but just a piece of the budget puzzle. Senate Democrats already made a push to include extra funding for things like disability services and school lunch programs. They almost got Republicans to also agree on more funding for suicide prevention, but it narrowly failed.
The data might be hard to find, but The data is one person that we've saved their life. That could be your family member, that could be someone in your family, a friend, community member. It's worth it to me.
We've tried to get a handle on this. Throwing more money out for suicide prevention feels good, but what are we getting for the money?
State leaders expect the House to reject any new amendments and send the bill to a conference committee to work out a final version. The Belgrade School District says school programs are at risk of being cut unless voters can approve a new levy. The programs include music, choir, and drama, and some activities. The levy would increase taxes by $90 a year for a home valued at $400,000. The school election takes place on May 4th. A popular Missoula fitness facility says it's closing after decades. The women's club has been in business for close to 40 years. In an email, the club announced that closure that will happen in August. Membership was on the rise after COVID, but the facility needs improvements that they say are just too costly.
I know that we're kind of maybe known as an older ladies club, and they do have that community for sure. But you know, when we did focus groups a couple years ago, and to find out if it was a women's only was important to, say, millennials, and the feedback was overwhelmingly yes, it's still important, it's still relevant, and we want to be here.
Okay, well, there is some discussion that the organization could continue in some capacity in the future. Football fans rejoice. The Montana Grizzlies will be back on the gridiron 485 days after their last game. The Grizz are facing Central Washington tomorrow at Washington Grizzly Stadium in Missoula. Some fans will be in attendance, with the university allowing 20% capacity. The Grizz played 2 games this spring. The second one is against Portland State. And the Montana State Bobcats decided against playing any early games, but both teams will be back in action for a full fall schedule. We do have more ahead on this Friday version of the Noon News, including information surrounding a recent calf napping that happened in the Gallatin Valley. We'll have that. But first, Miller is back up with a look at that statewide weather forecast.